everyone, this is P4L. In today's P4L review, we'll be taking a look at a Wei Jiang figure. This is their Alcee, their version of an upscaled KO of the Generations Arcee that we got from Hasbro / Takara a little while ago. This is supposed to be kind of in scale with the Masterpiece line, I suppose, since we haven't gotten a Masterpiece Arcee just yet from first party or the third party. So in any case, we'll take a look at packaging review as always. And the Wei Jiang boxes have gotten way better since the first one that we've seen, at least in terms of box artwork. This is a pretty simple box. You got a picture of Alcee. You can see the deformation area. That is the name of their line, I guess. And I don't know what support fighters mean. And then it also has Robot Force. So there's a lot of subtitles on this guy. And you can see the movie Optimus kind of back here, which is kind of odd as well. Same thing on the top. Not getting anything particularly new or interesting. On the side, it's just a wraparound of the front with a little bit of QR code on the side. Robot Force. Bottom, you get the whole bunch of warnings and stuff like that. Not for babies 0 to 3. Just in case that's what you were going to get your 3-year-old. And on the back, you can see a photo of the alt mode and the robot mode, and whatever you want to call this is basically just the back part, or I guess top part of the alt mode that this figure in particular they've allowed to be kind of like parts forming and removed, and maybe kind of a riot shield or something like that. I'm not really sure, but that's really it. So out of packaging and the clamshell, this is what you get with Alcee. You get the figure itself, comes like this. You get the backpack piece, or whatever you want to call it, for the alt mode. That comes in a couple of pieces. I don't know what's going on there. You get 2 swords, translucent blue with the painted here. I think I don't have the Takara version, so I can only do a comparison with the Hasbro version. But I think this takes more from the Takara deco and colors and everything like that. But here are the 2 pistols as well. Sorry, let me focus on that. And as far as these decos go, these definitely look not like the Hasbro version, which we'll compare in a bit. So that's one of the major things here. So let's go ahead and do a quick comparison first. And you can see just how different these two are. So it is a direct upscaling of this mold. But the colors are very different, right? So again, I can't compare with the Takara one in terms of colors, but I actually like this lighter pink on the Hasbro one more. The only other things that I've noticed in terms of major differences are that the face was always kind of bad on this, but it's even worse on this. It looks more narrow than it was before. Sorry, I should keep focusing on this. But it looks way more narrow. And this face was okay. I think maybe the Takara one was a little bit better, but this one looks really kind of funky. Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, it protrudes out a bit more, and it's really, really narrow. I think it might be just as narrow as this face, but looks a lot longer. And given the size, it just looks kind of odd. The other major difference, as we spoke before, is the fact that this whole backpack piece can come off here, and this is actually 2 separate sections as well. So you can actually attach it and transform it in the same way with this, backpack kind of folding up underneath like that. We'll show that off in a bit. Where it kind of folds up like this. Or you can keep it off. And some people like that. Some people even modded this figure originally to be able to do that. So it's a very simple mod there. In terms of just a quick 360, she still has kind of the thunder thighs here, the wheels on her almost butt. And you can see this looks a little bit better. It looks a little bit more quote-unquote accurate, where it doesn't have like a big chunk just hanging off the back. That said, I mean, they just left this all like this, so it looks very incomplete as well, and skeleton-y. But really, that's about it in terms of 360. These 2 pieces, like I said, they come attached in the clamshell, like so. You can see these 2 little tabs align, or pegs align here. go like this, and they usually have it with this gun stored here, and then I guess they were having her hold it like this in some of the pictures, which is just kind of odd, right? It's not really a shield like this. It would have been nice if they incorporated some kind of tab anywhere in here where she could use it more as a shield, which would make sense. I mean, not make sense because she never did that before, but at least has a little bit more utility. Like even like this, if she could hold it like this, it would kind of look pretty cool and somewhat useful as far as parts forming goes. If you want to attach it, the way you attach it is you fold this up, and then back here you have this big gap. This goes in here. Let's open this up a bit, and you just push down on that. There we go. And then this piece has two pegs here and two kind of tabby things at the top that slot in here. Just push that in, and you have the little ridges that kind of go underneath that. So this is how it looks when you have it all kind of reassembled. Really quickly with articulation, so she does have a ball jointed head, so you get all that action going on there. Oh, try not to unpeg her neck. She has ball jointed shoulders, so you get good range. Obviously you run into her backpack at some point. You get the pseudo ratcheted elbows, as we talked about before. It would have been nice if they had added a wrist joint, but they didn't. Oh, and I forgot, sorry, she has the shoulder joint, shoulder or bicep swivel there. But it would have been nice if they added a wrist swivel to this mold, upscale mold as well. Because of the way she transforms, you don't get any kind of waist articulation or ab crunch or anything like that, which is unfortunate. Her legs rotate up like this. They look kind of funky because they're hinged at the bottom. Not that much going backwards. You can see I have split open her side. So this is about all you get before you start splitting her open. You don't get much outward either, unfortunately. Like, this is really about it, which is super sad. But you can, I guess, make use of this lower joint here a little bit. If you ratchet that out, you can go like that. And again, they added ratchets to her hip joints. She does have a knee swivel here, which is very well hidden. Knee bend, which is very nice. And then ankle articulation, no tilt, no swivel, unfortunately. But yeah, that's it for her articulation robot mode, I think. Nothing else going on there. Before we move on to transformation and other stuff, let's do some quick comparisons. Here she is with MP10. There we go. Here she is with Rodimus. Or no, not Rodimus. Well, I guess in Japanese it's Rodimus, but Hot Rod, as we know him in the US. And then one other character that she's sometimes shown with. I don't have a Masterpiece Springer, even a third-party one at this point, so this will have to do. Again, this scale is kind of all out of whack. This doesn't look too bad. Even with Optimus, she's supposed to come up to right about there in terms of the scale chart. So I think that works fairly well, but I still think it looks kind of odd for her to be that short. Anyway, let's get rid of everything here. The accessories that she has are all the same accessories. Again, she has some gunmetal here. This version that I have is the the version I have of the Hasbro one, and they had two versions. One was open fist and one was a closed fist. I forget which one was the quote-unquote better one, but this Alcee is obviously modeled off of the open fist one. But as before, you can go ahead and make use of the swords like this, or she has these big gaps on the side here, so you can make use of the tabs and have them kind of like melee weapons. You can do the same for the guns, I suppose, too, but you can also use the ports on the side for guns or the swords, as you would expect. As far as mold improvements, aside from the backpack, she does still retain kind of the faux ratchets in the elbows. The thighs are die cast. This whole section here is all die cast, which is nice. And then the hips are actually ratcheted, which are new. So it makes it a lot more secure, but it's also makes it a lot harder to transform. But the overall paint's very nice. It's kind of a metallic pink. I don't know if it's, I don't think it's painted. Maybe the pink color, I think it's molded in kind of a shiny pink plastic, because you can actually see swirls on some of the sections here. So I think the paint is white. But either way, they did quite a good job on the paint applications. This gun middle here, the applications on the abdomen and the blue part here. The face looks kind of weird, again, like I said, but the paint, I guess, is okay. And that's really about it. So let's go ahead and get into transformation. Transformation is quite easy. First thing we'll do is, what do we like to do first? Oh, so the first thing I like to do is actually come up here and then pull up on all this. You untab the neck here, pull all this up, and then you pull the backpack all the way up. The head flips back like this. This goes up, and this abdomen area folds down. This comes up like this, and this gets positioned down like that. This backpack piece you can go ahead and flip up and out for now. The arms are on this hinge here that they go up like this, and then they rotate the shoulders or biceps in. Oh, I didn't do any articulation, but I think you guys will probably already know that. This will go into the crotch, and then the hands actually peg into those, and that keeps the arms kind of stable in alt mode. I usually do it the other way, where I plug it into the hands first, because I think it's a little bit easier, and then plug it into the crotch, but whatever. So yeah, make sure that's all the way down like this. Alright, and then for the legs, you're going to want to flip them up. And this is where I said it gets a little difficult because of the new addition of the ratchets. You rotate the thighs out like this. Like so. Flip them around. Straighten out the feet. And they slot in right here in this gap. Like that. Then you can bring the rear down. You'll see tabs that go around like so. If you've got it all done correctly, it should look something like this. So for a while, is that right? Looks like something's off. For a while, I thought that, you know, there's oh, sorry. The one thing I always forget is that they do have little ridges here that have to come down and underneath the seats. So the one thing I was going to mention is that, you know, those little pegs that pegged into the section here. I thought that you were supposed to kind of get these all connected, but in alt mode, you don't do that. You only use that for when you want to create that weird shieldy kind of thing in robot mode. So it would have made more sense if they extended this a little bit more so that you can tab that in, but you can't actually do that. There's no way to actually do that. The weapons can store the same way. This one stores there, or you can have it stored back here. The swords can kind of go into the sides like this. Oops, that's not for her. Where's our other? Oh, and then yeah, the gun down here stores. But again, you can kind of move these where you'd like up here if you want. And again, the gun can come out and tab in wherever. So it does roll quite well, and it does look very much the same as the previous version. So give me a second, I'll go transform her. Alright, so really quick before we do any other comparisons, you can see the comparison with the Hasbro version again. Quite large. in comparison, but otherwise, again, the same exact mold. Comparisons with Masterpiece Hot Rod in alt mode. So this scale works pretty well, I think. They're about the same length and about the same width, actually. So in terms of alt mode, they scale quite well. And then it wouldn't be a Pick for Life review without a comparison with Streak. Oh, what am I doing? There we go. Forgot which figure I was reviewing. Alright, so yeah, that's really it for the alt mode in terms of anything new. There's really not anything new here. You don't really see much difference, you know, even with the split part. It's done so well that it's along the seams that you would have seen in this mode anyways, the original mode anyway. The only real addition is that little tiny piece here, which had a gap in this version there. See there. But yeah, not really much to say. Same old mold. So very quickly we'll go ahead, since we've already done comparisons, to go ahead and bring her back into robot mode. Just flip this up, fold this around, pull the leg down, then collapse them. And again, they're fairly tight. There we go. Get the toes flipped up. Bring this out of the crotch area. Bring the arms down. Up here. Oh, up here we'll pull this down along with the ab piece. Get the backpack unpegged here. Remember those two little ridges that I mentioned I always forget? This should come out. Come on. I don't know what's going on. Why is it... annoying. Sorry about that. And that should come down like so. Tab everything in here. As far as the chest and abdomen piece, bring this back to tab that in, tab the neck in. And there we have Alcee in robot mode. And again, if you want to take this off, you can force it off like I did by accident. You want to pull straight. Oh, here, let's take this off first. So make sure to untab these pieces here and just pull straight out. And then for the backpack, here, it's just a little bit easier to deal with that. Just pull straight back out, like so. Tab the neck back in. And there we have Alcee back in robot mode. So, final thoughts while I armor her up or weapon her up. So this figure is going for about $40, and I think that is actually not a terrible price for this size of figure, especially since this is more like the Takara version of the Generations figure, which I think in itself was like 40 or 50 bucks, which is quite a lot. But the Hasbro version was a deluxe figure. It was only like 15 bucks, right? So I'm trying to do a comparison to that. And when you look at it that way, it's not double the size. It does have a little bit die cast. It does have more paint and does look slightly better in most cases, except for the face and the extra engineering here, I suppose. Again, you can tab this in like so. I mean, there is additional value here, but I think it falls short of an MP style Arcee in terms of overall, you know, engineering, obviously. And as such, I don't know if it's a Arcee that you really want to buy for $40-ish for your MP shelf, especially because, you know, we'll probably get one. We're getting into the movie figures a lot with the official line, and then we have a couple of companies doing a third-party version of one of Arcee. So I would recommend probably holding off on buying this unless you really like this mold and you desperately need one. And $40 isn't a lot, granted, and the third-party and the official ones are definitely going to be probably double that price at least, or close to that. So it might be worth it for you if you don't like the character so much, but you feel like you need one for your movie shelf. Hopefully that covered everything. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. As always, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, thumbs up, share, or subscribe, or any of those. And I'd appreciate that. And as always, if you want to keep up with all my news and reviews, go ahead and click on the Facebook link to Pick for Life Reviews on Facebook. Alright? That's all for today, everyone. Hope you have a good one.